Over the years, the Angling Edge staff has had the good fortune to fish all over North America for many different fish species. Going to new waters means you have to figure things out fast. Few tactics speed the fish finding and catching process quicker than trolling. The fact is, trolling is a unique presentation method that works great for many different game species. It's a highly efficient means of covering a tremendous amount of water in an effort to find active fish.
There we go. There we go. Big fish, boys.
Nice, nice, nice.
Covering so much water helps you gather information, like where are the largest concentrations of baitfish? Are your target species concentrated on points, sunken islands, or are they relating to rocks, wood, or weeds? Angling success is often an efficiency game of figuring out where the fish are not, which ultimately narrows the search as to where they are. Let's join Jeremy Smith and Ty Sjodin, who are based at Viking Lodge in Cranberry Portage, Manitoba.
This is what people come up here for, to catch these giant mammoth lake trout like this. It is incredible.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
Nicer one?
I can't tell. I don't think it's real big, but it's getting better as every turn of the handle. It appears to be getting better.
I got on that time.
Good way to cover water, you know, when these walleyes get in rocks in particular, it can be pretty hard to find them and see them, so you have to go slow no matter what. So it really does make sense to troll over a lot of these spots. Oh, it's a nice walleye. And so why not? Oh, it's a great walleye. Oh, it thinks it's a bass.
What?
It thinks it's a bass.
Oh, it's like, what?
Sweet.
There you go, Jared.
So Ty and I decided we'll pull some spinners and look at some different water, and it has not taken long. We got a little guy, we got a nice one, we got bit off by a pike, and spinner rigging is an effective way to catch fish. Ty, you've done a lot of this.
You can cover just a ton of water, and we're finding a lot of these fish when we're fishing with jigging Raps and so forth, they're more negative, so you're going through more fish and you're finding active fish this way, which is a great, like I said, a great technique to find
fish, huh?
eaters.
Cool, let's get this guy back and get some more. All right, I'm rigging up this crawler right now, and this is the spinner I've got going. It's just a little Indiana blade perch flavored pattern, but it's got this little float on here, and this is a really nice deal to have when you're fishing around super snaggy rocks. So if you're making a turn, the rig isn't falling into the rocks and getting snagged, it's keeping it up above the rock. So that's a great little deal. VMC came out with these new spinners this year, and having a little float on there when you're fishing real snaggy cover is a super handy thing to have. It's kind of cool. You see them, some on Mega Live, some on 2D, and then results in a fish. So when it comes to bottom bouncers, you know, and weight, kind of the rule of thumb that I like to go by is roughly an ounce for every 10 feet of water that you're fishing. But Ty's got a 2 ouncer on, and I actually have a 3 ouncer on, and having different weights staggered will actually prevent you from tangling too often. So, whoa, a bit better fish. It's nice to have that staggering, and then I can really adjust. That 3 ouncer, I'm keeping this almost vertical underneath the boat. So it's good. Oh geez, really nice fish. All right.
I'm losing for you, Jer. Whoops.
All right, thanks. Sweet, sweet.
When you're talking about bottom bounce fishing, my rod reel of choice is definitely a bait caster. Number one, it's really comfortable to hang on to. Number two, I like the bait casting reel because of line management. When you're talking about working up and down different depths in the water column, it's really easy to push that button, reel it back up very fast, because you want that bottom bouncer as close to the bottom as you possibly can. You want that bait riding just off the bottom, because that's where the walleyes typically are.
And Ty mentioned the bait cast equipment that we're using, and I think it's an absolute must. And there's specialized equipment now for this. The setup that both Ty and I are using is made for this. We're both using bounce and troll rods. Ty's got the St. Croix Legend Tournament, the Blue Rod, and this is a new line. They've got the Avid Walleye series. This is just an awesome series, a little less expensive than the Legend Tournament, but the quality is amazing, and they're both medium heavy power, moderate fast action rods. And then we've got these Daiwa line counter reels on here, just a size 100. Just a perfect setup. And of course I've got braid on here. I like the yellow braid, that way you can always see where somebody's line is. 15-pound 832, and boom, we're in business. This feels like a nicer fish, Ty. Another awesome fish.
He swims right into the net like he's supposed to.
Bam! Bingo bango.
This segment is brought to you by Wavy Label Eyewear. Backed by a lifetime warranty, we see what others don't.
Well, I would say in terms of finding fish, laying out the structure, we've used the auto chart live. We've got a good feel of how this structure is laid out. We could come back and jig fish this, no problem. We can make passes through here, trolling again and cream them. It's definitely paid off. Another walleye, beautiful. Definitely pays to come out, troll a lot of these structures. Trolling is just simply a fantastic way to learn new water on these northern Canadian lakes like this. Boom. Walleyes, trout, everything is susceptible to trolling. Learn lots, catch lots. Awesome, let's get it back. Summer is a great time to target lakers because they're in relatively predictable locations. Lake trout prefer cold water, so when temps reach the mid-50s and higher, lake trout venture to deeper basins. Many lake trout fisheries have basins of 100 feet and deeper. These deep water areas are often where we begin the search. And the search was started by Paul pointing out some of the key lake trout holes on this paper map. Now the Cranberry Chain of Lakes doesn't have a digital map, so we're using AutoChart Live to make our own map. We quickly find the deep water, then search for deep humps, points, bottom transitions, food, and of course, lakers. The more time we spend in an area, the better our map becomes. Another key to finding lake trout is locating the thermocline. In warm water, treat the thermocline like the surface of the lake. Your electronics can show you this, and in many cases, it's between 25 to 35 feet down. This screenshot shows you that it's roughly 30 feet. Notice none of the bigger marks are above 30 feet. Our best spot was a classic, a saddle between a point with a gradual drop from 40 to 60 feet before quickly dumping into 120. Across from the point was a giant rock that topped off at around 45 feet. We were getting bit consistently with baits running between 45 to 55 feet down. Viewed from the lens of fishing legend Dick Pearson, this makes great sense. There are multiple edges converging here. The edge of both structures and the narrow 15-foot band of water above them to the thermocline. It's a natural funnel and the perfect spot for trout to hunt. Oh, it definitely feels like a gooder fish. Ah, come on, baby. Got the clip on there. At least you didn't have to fight the board. That's a nicer fish.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Two nice fish now we've hooked. Now don't do what I did and go ahead and lose it with 10 feet to go.
I still got 135. So. One thing that's super important too, like you don't want to overfight this fish. I mean, let your rod do the work, let the drag do the work. If you start reeling and you're not moving the needle on the line coming in, just let that fish work itself out. It's going to get tired.
And don't pump.
Yeah, don't pump. Yeah, let that rod do the work. That's why we got these specific rods. Let that flex work, let that fish just tire itself out. It'll come in. You know, these Daiwa drags have the best drag of any reel out there. Dig them down. I just don't want to horse them in. Get about 25 feet.
Oh, nice trout. Yep, real nice trout. Real nice trout, Ty. Yep, beautiful fish. Yep.
Oh yeah, another bubbles are coming out. Another dig.
Yeah, that one is a step up for sure. That's another big fish. Look at that, huh?
Oh, wow, yeah.
And then, here's your fish, dude. Another great lake trout, huh? Whew.
Nice.
Cool.
Do you want a quick photo quick or not?
There we go. Another trout. I gotta get us up the...
Nice one?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I marked this rock here. Comes up pretty shallow. We're gonna be okay because it goes from 40 to 100 instantly. It's a 60-foot high rock. Kind of cool. I'll show you guys a screenshot of where we're fishing right now. It's such a cool piece of structure here. So check out this video or this screenshot here of where we caught this trout. And if you're a trout fisherman, you'll be like, oh yeah, that is a trout spot if I've ever seen one. Pretty cool. And it takes a while to find that kind of stuff out here, and this auto chart has been absolutely crucial for this type of program. Doing this thing, it's important that you've got the front deck clear, because the person in the back with long rods needs to be able to net. Is it a regular?
It's a regular.
Well, it's a regular, huh?
Yeah.
I thought it was bigger.
So that was on a number 8 Shad Rap.
Your style of boat control is really key.
One that was there from the very beginning.
You want to be able to see in the water. The adventure begins.
We are loaded for bear. We got
You know,
bites.
there's so many different ways to fish for walleye. Dependability and efficiency.
Simple, fast, and easy.
The best rods on the planet.
Oh, just a regular.
Regular. Trout, they just never quit. Sweet, back he goes. I gotta get motor and gear so we don't get hung up. Most of the time when you use sonar, the settings that come right out of the box are fantastic. However, when you're lake trout fishing and fishing deep water, that is definitely a time you want to make adjustments to your sonar settings. So one of the things that I like to do, especially with down imaging, and we use down imaging to really truth what we're seeing with traditional 2D sonar, is change the frequency from mega, which is a really high frequency sonar, to the 455, which was the original frequency when side imaging and down imaging came out. And that lower frequency travels and gives you a better return in that deeper water. So the lower frequency, you know, it goes slower, but it comes back and gives you a crisper picture. So if you're going through this 100, 150 feet of water with your mega imaging, a lot of times you're not seeing much on down imaging. So you go, what's going on? All of a sudden you change it to 455 and boom, things light up. So definitely when you're lake trout fishing, this is the time to just sit and play with your electronic settings, and hey, you're out here in open water. It's a great time where you can just make a little adjustment here, see how it looks, and just keep tinkering with it, and eventually you're gonna find something that works really well and see more fish. It might be it,
Would that be
huh?
something if it's the first one?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a good night if this is how it's gonna be, Jer.
Yeah. It's kind of a, you know, you come up and you look at this stuff, you hear most of the time when you hear people talk about trolling for lake trout, places are like, oh, you gotta have downriggers, and you really don't. Like, we're just using the offshore snaps, so we're just adding weight, just snap on weights to the line, and it works pretty good. You just get these heavy lead balls, you know, we're running 8 and 10 ounces on these lines, and that's getting our baits down, you know, at 2.5 miles an hour. We're able to get our lines down in that 55 to 70 foot range really effectively, and that's it's been pretty awesome. So you need some more speed.
You got to keep that pressure on these fish because we are using barbless hooks.
Barbless hooks, and the rod he's using, this is actually a trolling rod. It's one of the Icon trolling rods from St. Croix, and look at that. It just can take great flex. I mean, that thing, this one's got 8 ounces of lead and a huge planer board. I mean, you've got a huge fish and whatever, but it takes all that flex. It's just a great
This
stick.
This is, I mean, if this isn't a big fish, I will swim back.
All right. Thing of beauty. This is a little different than some of the other ones that you just kind of reel them up. This is not a reel them up fish.
This is not.
Okay, see your lead. See the
Ooh,
trout.
there's a fish.
There's burping.
Looks
Nice
nice.
one. Yep. Real nice one, Ty. Really.
Oh, look at
man,
that.
that's a wow.
Whoa!
Wow,
Whoa!
that's a huge trout.
Dude!
Dude, that's a magnum laker.
Whoa!
That is a big trout.
Wow! Look at the size of this thing. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Whoa. Jeez.
So backward.
Whoa. I mean, these things are special. These are prehistoric, and they're just unbelievable fish, man. Like, these are fish of a lifetime, right? You come up here, this is what people come up here for, to catch these giant mammoth lake trout like this. It is incredible. Whoa.
They like to eat when you're throwing the right thing.
You don't have all bluebird flat calm days.
Just a perfect eating size fish. See, that's what I'm talking about, these Daiwa drag.
We got walleye stuff, we got crappie stuff, we got pike stuff.
This boat is rigged up about as nice.
Easy to use, and it flat out works.
It's a must-have when you're talking about big waves.
Well, these trout are so darn tough.
This bait is legendary.
See, Mr. Trout? And back to the depths. See ya. All right, ideally we would have regular lead, balls for doing this, but of course, we've had mishaps, we're learning, we've got these things hung up on the rocks, so we're improvising right now. We need 8 ounces, and so this is kind of how we're doing it. We've got kind of a hodgepodge of lead, but this is the secret to it. We've got these little offshore clips, and you want to make sure you've got them. You probably can't see that, but there's a little peg on the inside. That's going to keep it from sliding off if it happens to, when it gets to your swivel for your leader. So make sure that if you get the clips when you're doing this, if you come up here doing this, you've got the clips that have the little peg on it. That's definitely going to prevent it from popping off. It's going to save you a few lead balls, but that's the little rig we're going to use to try to make things meet. But it might not look pretty, but it sure is working. The selection of lures we pack for trolling Lakers deep is pretty simple. It's mostly spoons. From our experience in these northern waters, bigger is usually better. There are countless options for trout trolling spoons on the market. The biggest Lure Jensen Coyote spoon is a classic, and even some of the bigger flutter spoons, popular for bass fishing, can work really well. A good complement to trolling spoons is the Quickfish. This bait has a crazy wide thump and is lively even at slower speeds. It's one of the few hard baits that can be added to a spoon spread and function properly. There are times when Lakers have a strong preference for Quickfish, so don't travel north without these. So with this trolling out here, it does pay to do different moves. Speeding up, slowing down is obviously a big key, but one of the techniques that we've been doing where a lot of bites have come is I'm turning the tiller really quickly back and forth, and unlike when you're fishing just straight crankbaits on a flat line, when you make that turn, one bait's gonna speed up on the outside corner, dive deeper, the other one is gonna rise up and move slower. Well, when you've got 8-10 ounces of lead, when you're doing that move, one still speeds up, but then the other one plummets. It falls really quickly, and a lot of the bites I think are coming as that ball is just falling, it's plummeting. So the trout might be chasing it. You make that turn on the inside, the bait falls quickly, and then you start to pick it up and bam, they get it. So it's different than just fishing with a crankbait. Having that heavy lead on there is doing different things, making the baits move vertically depending on how you're operating the boat. And it's kind of a cool thing for triggering fish. Got one. All right, so I'm gonna do this thing. Took us a while to figure this out, but I've got the micro remote on the Minn Kota trolling motor here, and I'm just putting things at 1 mile an hour. That just kind of keeps the set moving, and I'll use the autopilot feature just to maintain a course, and that's been great for not getting our stuff tangled, because we made the mistake earlier of trying to troll too fast, you lose fish, or if you stop and you leave lines out, they just inevitably get snagged and you break stuff off, so. I like when the line's singing, you can hear the line. Look at that sucker will not come up. I like it to be regular.
Don't go any further. No, that's a nice trout. Here.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Holy cow, Ty. Yes. Yeah, buddy. Wow, that's a big one. Whoa, right, dude. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. All right. Look at that burping trout. Look at that green hues on that. I'd say Viking Lodge coming up here fishing for walleyes and trout is absolutely an amazing experience. Dude, this is absolutely incredible. Woo! Woo, I'm loving it.
Have you ever said something that as soon as you finished saying it, you thought, oh my gosh, I wish I never said this, but you don't get a do-over. It's said, it's done. We all been there. We all know what I'm talking about. You wish you could take some of these things back. Some of them have a major impact on people's lives, not only yours. And I'll give you an example of something that really sounded simple, but it left a mark on me. And it happened just a short while ago, spring of the year. I'm crappie fishing on a lake not too far from our office. There's 2 boats of us out there, and we're catching a reasonable amount of fish. We're coming to get back off to go to another spot, pull the boat out of the water. And there's 2 guys anchored in a boat fishing a particular area. And I'm following the boat in front of me to get off the water. And where these guys were fishing, I know this sounds dumb, it was tight between shore, and we came kind of closer than we should have between them and the spot that they were fishing. And as we came through, these guys in the boat had some choice words for us. And one of them, the last thing he says as I pass through, he says, "Al, you should know better." I went through, I can't forget those words. "Al, you should know better." I should have stopped and went back and apologized. I didn't. Hey, I hope you're watching that television show right now. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Your words meant a lot to me. It went in, it burned into my heart. As somebody that professes to be a Bible-believing Christian, I should know better. My action should make a difference. And I can't tell you how often that was a check in my mind and in my spirit. I should know better. And I just had to share that with you. Because again, if you're watching, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. What you said, those words, "I should know better," has changed my life for the better. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.